Mayor Mamdani, South Africa is the model for New York. Leave it to a communist to use a failed state as a role model. The new mayor said at his inauguration that Nelson Mandela's Freedom Charter was his blueprint. So, what direction has South Africa been going in since then? They had a little bit of a boost when they still had other people's money to steal, but other people's money has ran out. It was a performance worthy of an Oscar or maybe a Tony. Zoran Mamdani's address at his swearing-in ceremony on New Year's Day electrified the freezing crowd every bit as much as it shocked the Democratic establishment and perhaps even 50% of New Yorkers who didn't vote for him. Guys, I don't know what to say, man. You need to get out of there. I do not know why you're still living there. Yeah, I know some people just get attached or it's a pain in the ass to move. Dude, believe me, I know. My dad was in the army. I'm used to moving. And yes, I sympathize. It is a royal pain in the ass. But would you rather move or would you rather stay in this shithole? Look, New York is following the same trajectory Detroit did. There was a lot of people initially when they thought that Detroit was just going to be a temporary dip. Yeah, they were convinced that, just wait it out, guys. It's going to get better, guys. Those people are now stuck, not even able to sell their house for $1. The newly minted mayor had the stage, but graciously acknowledged that the real star was socialism. I was elected as a Democratic Socialist. I'll govern as a Democratic Socialist. So this is what I like about this guy. This dude pulled the most Giga Chad of moves. He looked his voters in the eye and said, bitch, you're about to get what you voted for. Now bend over. I gotta say, man, whatever you might think of him, that is a fucking Giga Chad move right there. Well, he hailed an era of big government, vowed to govern expansively and audaciously, and said he would set an example for the world. Yeah, let the rest of the world know why socialism should be made illegal and why communists should be given helicopter rides. The grimace cum smile on Chuck Schumer's face, sitting hostage like behind the mayor, who he has yet to endorse or even say if he voted for, told its own story about exactly how thrilled the mainstream Democrat Party is to go into the midterms later this year, and more importantly, the current year +2 presidential campaign, with Mamdani as the party's principal standard bearer. Yep, I think even lefty Democrats know, like, oh, it's over for us. At some point, the grinning and bearing it won't be an option. The Radical Mamdani platform will have to be embraced or disavowed. It won't be pretty. Yeah, and if you disavow it, at least you might be able to save a portion of your party. If you embrace it, you're sealing your fate. So what can New Yorkers look forward to under their energetic and muscular new form of socialism? Mamdani gave them clues, advising them to look into Madiba and the South African Freedom Charter, the charter that Madiba Nelson Mandela helped forge with the ANC, which is, I believe, that was their government. It was the ANC, was the blueprint for post-apartheid South Africa. And how well has that worked out? It opens with the words, "Our people have been robbed of their birthrights to land, liberty, and peace by form of a government founded on injustice and inequality." So what are they going to do? They're going to rob those who are more qualified to give to those that aren't in the name of equity. Suggesting that apartheid is alive and well in New York will have brought another big gulp from Schumer and the Democrat establishment. Yeah, there's a lot of really rich Democrats out there pretending to be socialists. Let's redistribute their wealth. The Democrats socialists have so far failed to persuade the country that apartheid exists in Israel, so it's ambitious to think they can make the case for its existence in New York. Well, the difference is both parties literally worship Israel, but they don't worship New York. This is testing the very limits of grievance politics and the current almost failed state. No, I don't think it's almost failed. No, it is failed, but they've been able to keep up like an illusion with like bubble gum and fucking duct tape that hasn't completely fallen over yet. Let's see. Look, it hasn't fallen yet. It still counts. With white farmers fleeing to America as refugees, both particularly ill as a template for New York. Like I said, man, this guy pulled the Giga Chad move of telling his voters they're about to get everything they fucking voted for. So bend over, bitch. As in South Africa, the enemy in Mamdani's New York is often white people. He has already vowed to target wider neighborhoods for higher taxes. Good. It's primarily the fucking gated community dwelling champagne socialists in these white communities. They're the primary guys that keep voting for this shit and pushing for it. Oh, as long as it's not in my backyard. They're pushing all of this shit onto the rest of us while they live in their gated communities. If you want to bring those gated communities down a few levels, I'm all for it. Let's go. In his inaugural speech, he zoned in on another set of unprosecuted criminals, billionaires. They think they can buy our democracy, and not for too long, New York belonged to the wealthy and the well-connected. Billionaires seemingly the scourge of the city, and also needing the solution of it to its problems, just increase their taxes. Yeah, and in a way, this is right too. You got billionaires like George Soros, like they're behind a lot of this evil. They're the ones pushing for it, so they should be on the receiving end of it. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard paid a ton. Well, isn't Martha's Vineyard in like it's not in New York City? Wasn't it like Massachusetts or something? I can't remember. However, the Robin Hood mask slipped when Mamdani spoke about plans to fix the long broken property tax system, which will not see billionaires and oligarchs pay more, but middle-class property owners. According to a report from liberal think tank, the Fiscal Policy Institute, even more tax rises will have to be imposed to fund his universal child care program. That's right. All of these idiots are getting a lesson in basic economics, and that is somebody has to pay for all this free shit. And you were for this when you thought it was going to be someone else paying for free shit for you. But now that you learn it's going to be you paying for free shit for somebody else, now you don't want it anymore, do you? Funny how that works. Tax hikes on corporations and millionaires alone won't cover the bill for the program. Governor Hochul, another hostage to the stage behind Mamdani, will have to sign off on his tax plans and has so far at least signaled reluctance to. Oh, that's just because she's trying to play both sides. Like she wants to see how this goes, so she can always claim she was never on the losing side to begin with. Hey, that's fine. It's no coincidence that signs for No Flow, New York's hottest new neighborhood, are cropping up across the city's underground system. It is, of course, an upscale housing development in North Florida, but the well-timed, eye-catching signs and the lure of low taxes and sun will turn heads of ordinary New Yorkers. It's not just the mobile top 1% of New York taxpayers, those who pay around 40% of the city's personal income tax revenue who might pack up and leave the city. Anyone who stays there at this point pretty much has a milk me sign on them. Mamdani promised at the start of his speech that he had grand ambitions for New York, and perhaps nowhere was that clearer than when he claimed that under his leadership, the society and the shady would be remade to replace the frigidity of rugged individualism and with the warmth of collectivism. That's right. All you need to do is put on these chains and sign this slavery contract. His campaign demonstrated to him that people of New York yearn for solidarity. And they're going to get it too. And man, are they going to be mad when all the individualists that paid into that were funding 100% of their free shit leave. And for most observers, the key takeaway from his win is that he had accurately put his finger on the cost of living crisis. New Yorkers might be surprised to learn that they, in fact, voted to be less entrepreneurial, resourceful, and self-starting. And plus, like they just mentioned earlier, their cost of living is only going to get higher now. But whatever, idiots got to learn the hard way, I guess. The new mayor tailored much of his speech towards New York's now sizable Muslim population by taking his oath of office on a Quran, speaking in Urdu, saying he stood alongside halal cart vendors whose knees ache from working all day, and referencing Palestinian New Yorkers in Bay Ridge, Muslims now a major voting bloc that his campaign courted, and who repaid him with votes. The number of Muslim New York has risen to nearly 1 million, representing 9% of the population. They cannot be ignored. So we need free shit. Government prints a bunch of money. Why is everything so expensive? Yeah, we need to raise the minimum wage to $50. Oh my God, why is everything 10 times more expensive? That the new mayor has box office star power isn't beyond doubt. Thousands lined up, at least 7 blocks deep in frigid weather, moving at snail's pace just to get into a post-inauguration block party along Broadway, which was apparently a complete dumpster fire. Yeah, you guys get what you voted for. You get what you deserve, man. Mamdani held them in the palm of his hand. They laughed at his jokes, booed Eric Adams, who incredibly appeared to be having the best time on all of all on the dais, and chanted, "Tax the rich." Yeah, look, think what you will of Eric Adams. If I was him, I'd be having the time of my life too. He is the outgoing mayor. He knows exactly how fucked New York City is. And he's like, oh, shit. Thank God I'm not going to be the one in charge when this thing blows up. Holy fuck, you guys can have it. Here's the key. Here's the crown. I am out of here. I'm going to be moving to Florida to retire. None of this shit is my problem anymore. Why would you guys be surprised that out of all the people there, Eric Adams is the one that's having the best time? He's like, I'm free, man. This ain't my problem anymore. Fuck yeah. I am out of here. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Yeah, it's comedy for him now. Exactly. With a perfectly straight face, Mamdani told the crowd, love will be our guide as we pursue our agenda, and we will return the vast resources of this shitty to the workers who call it home. They loved it. Tears were shed. And then they're going to go home and realize that their taxes are going to increase. They're actually going to pay more money because, hey, guess what? You count as rich relative to the homeless. Mamdani is, if nothing else, the leading man in New York's latest chapter, maybe even last chapter. An art student who graduated from bit parts in his director mother's films and from a rap career as young Cardamom, starring on Broadway, albeit the street rather than the stage in the theater district, was perhaps the culmination of a life's dream, especially with supporting performances from established stars AOC and Bernie Sanders. New Yorkers, like the rest of America, are now desperate to find out how this show ends. Oh, dude. I'm going to need to buy more popcorn. I only have like 5 bags of it left, I think. I'm going to need to stock up because this story is going to get good. Mark my words. This is going to be glorious. I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward to seeing this dumpster fire. Like, this might actually be the end of New York City.